Right now, while you're reading this, one single decision you made yesterday is still affecting your gut. Not something dramatic, not a diet, not a supplement, something so small you probably didn't even notice you were doing it. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it was. Stick around, because episode 4, we told you stress physically reshapes your gut bacteria. Today we're going somewhere different. We're going to walk through one entire day, hour by hour, and show you exactly where those tiny, invisible choices are quietly building your gut health or quietly wrecking it. Every single one of you has this exact day already. You're just missing 3 or 4 small swaps that change everything. Let's get into it. 6:47 a.m. Your alarm goes off, and in that first groggy second, before your brain even catches up, your gut has already been working for hours. Wild, right? A bunch of you asked the same thing in the comments after the last episode. Okay, but what does an actual gut-friendly day even look like? Fair question. Because here's the problem. Most gut health content online either gives you a 12-step morning routine you'll quit by Thursday, or it just says eat healthy and leaves you guessing. Neither one actually works. So, today, no fluff, just one full day, start to finish, and the exact spots where small research-backed choices quietly add up. But here's the twist. The biggest mistake isn't what most people think it is. It's not skipping the gym. It's not one bad meal. It's something that happens before you even open your eyes. Let's start there. Here's something most people never think about. Your gut runs on a clock. Scientists call it your circadian rhythm, and it's not just about sleep. Your digestive system has its own internal timing, syncing up with light, with meals, with when you move. Waking up at wildly different times every day confuses that clock, doesn't ruin your gut overnight. But consistency here matters more than people realize. So step 1 isn't dramatic. Try to wake up around the same time most days, even on weekends. Your gut genuinely notices the difference. Now, breakfast. And this is where a lot of people go wrong without even knowing it. Grabbing something sugary and low in fiber first thing in the morning, then wondering why they crash by 10 a.m. Remember what we said 2 episodes ago. Fiber feeds your good bacteria. So does variety. A simple, realistic breakfast might look like oats with some berries and a spoonful of nuts, or eggs with vegetables and a side of fruit. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just something with actual fiber in it instead of a pastry and coffee running on empty. And speaking of coffee, don't panic. You don't need to give it up. Some early research even suggests coffee may support certain beneficial gut bacteria. Just don't let it replace breakfast entirely. Let's fast forward. Mid-morning, you're at work or school or running errands. This is usually where stress starts creeping in quietly before you even clock it. Remember the vagus nerve, that highway we keep coming back to. Here's a 2-minute habit with real research behind it. Slow breathing. In for 4 seconds, out for 6 or longer. Just a few rounds won't erase a stressful morning, but done consistently, it nudges your nervous system toward that calmer, rest and digest state we talked about last episode. Now let's meet someone, because numbers only tell half the story. We'll call him Hamza. 31, works in IT, spends most of his day at a desk. Nothing dramatic about his life. Just busy. Like most people watching this right now. Hamza used to skip lunch half the time, or grab whatever was fastest. A samosa here, a soda there. By 3 p.m. most days he was bloated, foggy, and reaching for his 3rd cup of tea. Just to function. Here's what he didn't realize. It wasn't one bad meal doing this to him. It was a pattern repeating itself 5 days a week for months without him ever connecting the dots. He didn't overhaul his whole life. He just made lunch slightly more intentional. Some rice, a portion of lentils or chickpeas, a vegetable side. Simple,
home-style food he was already eating anyway, just with a bit more fiber and a bit less processed stuff crowding it out. Within a couple of weeks, something shifted. The afternoon crash wasn't hitting as hard. Was it purely his gut? Impossible to say for certain from one guy's experience, but it lines up almost exactly with what the research on fiber and steady energy would predict. And here's the part that surprised him most. He wasn't trying harder, he was just trying smarter. Now snacking, something people always ask about. You don't need to fear snacks, but this is a great spot to sneak in variety. Remember, 30 different plants a week was linked to a more diverse microbiome. A handful of almonds, some fruit, a small bowl of yogurt. These aren't just filler.
They're votes for your gut environment, just like we talked about in the food episode. Afternoon rolls around. This is usually when motivation dips hardest. And here's where movement comes back into the picture. You don't need a gym session. Research has repeatedly shown that something as simple as a 20 to 30-minute walk can support a more diverse, resilient gut microbiome and lower cortisol at the same time. Two birds, one habit. Even a short walk after a meal specifically has been linked to better digestion and steadier blood sugar. So if you got 10 minutes after lunch, that's genuinely one of the highest value habits on this whole list. Evening comes, dinner time, and here's the thing almost nobody realizes. When you eat matters, not just what you eat. Eating a heavy meal right before bed can disrupt digestion and sleep quality. Doesn't mean you need to starve yourself at 6 p.m. Just try to leave a couple of hours between your last meal and bedtime when you can. Simple, not extreme. For the meal itself, same principle as always. Some protein, some fiber-rich vegetables, maybe a small serving of fermented food like yogurt or a bit of pickled vegetables if you enjoy them. Not because one meal changes everything, because it's one more brick in a pattern. But here's the part we've been building to this whole video. The part almost nobody connects to gut health at all. The hour before bed. Scrolling your phone in bed. Bright light, notifications, doom scrolling the news. All of it delays your body's natural wind-down process. And we already know from a few episodes back, poor sleep messes with your gut microbiome, and an unhealthy microbiome makes good sleep even harder to get. Remember that decision from yesterday we mentioned at the very start of this video? For most people watching this, it's exactly this one. What you did in the last hour before falling asleep. So, a genuinely simple wind down might look like this. Dim the lights. Put the phone down a bit earlier than usual. Maybe a few minutes of that slow breathing again. Nothing complicated. Just protecting the last hour of your day the way you'd protect any other habit that actually matters. And that's it. That's a full day. Notice something? None of this required a single supplement. None of it required cutting anything out completely, or spending extra money, or overhauling your entire life overnight. It's the same 5 things we've circled back to across this whole series. Fiber, variety, movement, stress regulation, sleep. Just stacked together the way they'd actually happen in a normal, busy, real life. That's the whole point of this series, honestly. Your gut isn't asking for perfection. It's not keeping score of the one bad day, the skipped walk, the late-night scrolling. It's responding to the pattern you build over weeks and months. Small, boring, unglamorous choices, repeated consistently. That's genuinely what the science supports. Not a miracle reset, not a 21-day detox, just a slightly better version of an ordinary day, done again and again. If this episode helped you picture what this actually looks like in real life, let us know in the comments. Tell us one part of your day you're going to tweak first. We read every single one. And next time on Gut Whispers, we're tackling something that a lot of you keep asking about. The most common gut health myths floating around online Right, now the ones that sound scientific but really aren't, and what the actual research says instead. One of them is probably something you believe right now. You're not going to want to miss it.
Until then, take care of your gut. It's been quietly running in the background this whole time. Give it a little credit. We'll see you in the next one.